Hey, it's Crypto Bobby, and it has been an incredibly interesting 12 to 24 hours in the cryptocurrency marketplace. Today, I want to talk to you about what happened immediately after the Bitcoin Gold fork and snapshot, and why that happened, really where the money moved, how the money moved, and how you could potentially play some of these movements into the future now as well. If you didn't get a chance to join me last night, I actually did a crypto live YouTube crypto happy hour at pretty much the exact time. I didn't even plan it, but pretty much the exact time the Bitcoin Gold fork went down. And it was awesome because it was about an hour, 45 minute, 2 hour crypto live happy hour, and there were 700 of you guys there. So thank you for that. Having that interaction with all of you was freaking really, really cool. So I had a blast doing that. But if we're looking at the charts, it was pretty much right around this point in time when the Bitcoin Gold snapshot happened. I was right in the middle of the YouTube live crypto happy hour. Bitcoin Gold snapshot happened. And if you're not familiar with what that means, basically there was a picture taken of all the accounts. If you had your money in Bittrex or wherever, if you had it in a hard wallet, there's basically a picture taken of all the Bitcoin accounts at that exact moment. And pending that exact moment, the number of Bitcoins you had during that Snapchat was the number of Bitcoin Gold you got. So after, like literally the second after that snapshot happened, it didn't matter if you had 100 Bitcoin in your account beforehand. You could move them all out of your account a second after the snapshot, but you would still get credited Bitcoin Gold into the future. So it was the second that snapshot happened, you literally were seeing in real time just the sell-off from Bitcoin, where Bitcoin had held up fairly nicely because people were buying into Bitcoin in anticipation of the Bitcoin Gold fork and getting essentially free Bitcoin Gold or whatever, free Bitcoin Gold basically, and getting your little Bitcoin dividend to either hold on to it or sell it back into Bitcoin or sell it into an altcoin. And it was interesting because it wasn't that just Bitcoin was dropping. It was that as Bitcoin was dropping, all of the money was flowing into the quote-unquote altcoins. So if we hop out of this chart here, and if I pop over into Ethereum, as we look right here, this kind of little bit of red candles, if I pop over into Ethereum, at that exact moment, as Bitcoin was going down, you see this massive green candle where Ethereum went within 1 hour, went from about 280 all the way up to 307. So almost went up by $30 in the course of an hour. And that was because people had basically got their Bitcoin Gold. There are a lot of people who haven't even gotten their Bitcoin Gold yet, but the snapshot was taken. So they're going to get credited with Bitcoin Gold. They didn't need to hold on to their Bitcoin anymore. So they immediately moved that into something like Ethereum, or if we pop over to Litecoin, the same thing happened there as well. You can see this massive green candle and a continued run up, and pretty much all over the place. You know, if we're looking at, that's on a Bitcoin, that's on a USD pairing. If we go to look at Ethereum on a Bitcoin pairing, you can see, that's an even bigger movement up. That was a massive, massive movement because as Bitcoin was going down, if we look at the percentages, as Bitcoin was going down, Ethereum was going up. So that was about a 14% movement from a Bitcoin to Ethereum trading percentage, which is pretty awesome and interesting to see as that was continuing to develop. So really cool. And if you look over at CoinMarketCap, it's pretty clear that the money flowed from Bitcoin. The money that was in Bitcoin prior to the Bitcoin Gold fork moved directly into a lot of these altcoins. So Ethereum up big, Ripple up big, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dash, pretty much everything minus BitConnect. I didn't say anything. It wasn't me. There's no reason that BitConnect's down when everything else in the market is up. Whoops. But outside of that, everything up is pretty much up in the market. It's just a matter of how much it's up. So it's a fantastic day if you are a holder of altcoins. Although the one big thing you really want to, think about too is, yeah, it looks fantastic that Ethereum is killing it, Litecoin is killing it. But let's not go too crazy because, if we zoom out these charts, Ethereum had a rough month of October so far and is kind of just recovering some losses really from September and October. But we are all the way down. I got to zoom out here. We are all the way down here. So Ethereum had a rough month of October, of September, and is just now recovering a little bit of those losses. Can they be sustained? Will they be sustained? Who knows? So I'm looking at this right now. Obviously, it's a good day if you held altcoins. I think that's pretty much a no-brainer. You're up 5, 10, 20, 25% if you had some of these altcoins, depending upon what they are. It's in very rare occasions, like my best friends in the number 8 seed on CoinMarketCap, that you did not go up. But you also have to take a look, depending upon where you bought, you might still be underwater quite a bit on your investment. So that's something to be, to consider. Now, outside of that, what's happening with Bitcoin Gold and then what's coming up with SegWit 2x. This is going to be interesting, is how the market reacts to SegWit 2x, and something that you're going to want to keep an eye on. Now, Coinbase came out and actually made a statement. If we pop over, I haven't done it yet, but let's see, Coinbase blog. Let's see if they have, see. So timeline and support here. Coinbase has come out and said that they are actually going to call Bitcoin. They're going to support the Bitcoin SegWit 2x fork, but they are going to call Bitcoin. Wow, that's a novel concept, isn't it? They're going to call Bitcoin BTC. Wow, good. They're going to keep the branding. Thank you, God. But they're going to call SegWit 2x the forked blockchain B2X, which a lot of people are saying is going to basically kill SegWit 2x on arrival. Now, people are greedy, and there's people with money behind SegWit 2x, so who knows if it really is dead on arrival or not. But when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking about a couple different things. I still think that the SegWit 2x fork is going to be a bigger deal, and it's going to be more valuable than Bitcoin Gold. And there's actually going to be companies out there that are going to support it and make it tradable on day one. So I think you're going to see more price action. So if it's anything like Bitcoin Gold, you're going to see a little bit of a run up in Bitcoin. Maybe it's already priced into the market to some extent, but you could see another run up of Bitcoin into the potential of having Bitcoin SegWit 2x to basically get your free SegWit 2x because you own Bitcoin. And then from there, you could see potentially a similar sell-off of what happened with Bitcoin Gold last night, where the second that snapshot happened, people moved all their money from Bitcoin, or not all their money, but a good chunk of money from Bitcoin to places like Ethereum, and to Litecoin, and to Neo, and to OMG, and to Civic, and to Qtum, and to whatever. So it's going to be, that's in my mind the thing that I'm keeping an eye on, is how this develops. People are calling, alts are back, alts are back, alts are back. I mean, let's get a little bit conservative here and say that, right now, where we're at right now, alts aren't back. It's a nice bounce, but the altcoins are still way down in comparison to where they were, previously. So take that with a grain of salt when everybody's saying altcoins are back, altcoins are back. I would like them to be back because I have 50% of my holdings in altcoin. Actually, probably a little bit more than, I have about 65% of my holdings in Ethereum. I have about 30% in Bitcoin now, about 30% in Ethereum, or 30% in Ethereum, and then about 40% in some random coins like Civic, OMG, and Chainlink. So I have the vast majority in Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I would love to see an altcoin pump, because that's going to make me a lot more money than probably if Bitcoin goes up by any significant margin. So just be aware when people are calling this is the return of altcoins. This is the return of altcoins. They're all back. They're all back. Altcoins are back if you bought down here because you're crushing it, but you literally would have had to have bought the bottom. The more likely scenario is you bought somewhere here or here or here, and you're still nowhere even near break even. So just, temper expectations for now. What you're going to want to keep an eye on is money going to flow back into Bitcoin in anticipation of the Bitcoin SegWit 2x fork? Or are we going to have a few weeks where the altcoins can run back up and maybe take some steam and take some additional money out of Bitcoin, and then maybe make the move into SegWit 2x? So there might be I still think that there is going to be a rise of Bitcoin prior to SegWit 2x, because I think people are going to buy Bitcoin because they're going to want basically free 2x. B2X coin, even if it's a total shit coin and even if it's not that valuable. I still think they're going to want it. But there could be a sustained little bit of an altcoin run. We could be out of altcoin winter for the foreseeable future here. I believe the SegWit 2x fork happens in mid-November, so you could have a few weeks here where the altcoins make a little bit of a run, take money out of Bitcoin, and have a nice little bit of a movement going forward. So if you have specific thoughts following the Bitcoin gold fork and how you think that might affect the SegWit 2x fork in the future and how you're going to play your strategy, I would love to hear that below. That would be really interesting on my end. I'm trying to get as much perspective around this as possible, and hearing from you guys about what you're anticipating and how you're anticipating things is always helpful for me. Now, if you are new to the channel by any chance, definitely hit that subscribe button. I do daily videos on crypto, and then I also, like I said, I do crypto live happy hours where I jump in, look over the charts with you guys, and take as many questions rapid fire as possible, and then drink some crappy beer with you. And I moved on to whiskey after the altcoins went nuts yesterday, so that was a blast and a lot of fun. Thank you so much again for your time today. Hope you found this helpful and insightful. Crypto Bobby signing out. Peace.